I was going to ask you want to take a walk with me? You see me walking?
Huh?
Oh, I did a mile and a half here.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, we good?
Both sides? Test one, test one.
I don't hear any feedback in my...
4, we're hot, okay?
Now I'm hearing a little bit of myself.
So you've made it to Roswell, the UFO capital of the world. You've been to the museum, seen some aliens, maybe even taken a few pictures with our sign. But now, it's really time to see Roswell. How? With our cool new app. With the app, you can find shopping, restaurants, places to stay, places to play, tours, museums, and even set your plan. And for the locals who say there's nothing to do in Roswell, our app has a list of events and happenings around town. Pretty cool, right? So head over to the App Store, download, and see Roswell today. It's available for Apple and Android. You need some help?
I'd love some.
Here, do you want me to take it with you?
Yeah, with me.
All right.
Great. Ready?
Cool.
Roswell!
Woo!
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KSVPTV.com. And believe it or not, Coyote football, Art Sandwell, and the Commander-in-Chief, Jeff Lynn. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Morning, Art. Good to be here, man.
I tell you what, just a week out of school, and guess what? We're already doing what we call it a red-white spring game, Coach. And but before we do anything, we're going to talk a little bit about spring football. But I'm going to tell you right off the bat, Coach, congratulations once again for being the 2024 New Mexico 5A state champions. Coach, tell me a little bit about the 2024 season. Tell me a little bit about the state championship and some of the pros and some of the cons and what we're going to be missing this coming year, and then we'll go straight into spring.
Yeah, just a great year and a great group of seniors. We said goodbye to those 31 seniors last Friday night at graduation. That was probably their biggest wins. That group of seniors was 41-2 in their high school career, only lost 2 games. Just a great group of seniors, a great group of kids. We had our ring ceremony back during the spring, handed out our rings, and Coach Pilar Carrasco did a great job of designing those rings. It's just been a fun time. I mean, we got invited to the county commission and the city council and the school board, and kind of was recognized throughout the county, and so that was good and good for our boys. But it's now time to refocus and put that thing to bed. OG always tells these kids, he always says, there's a lot of room on top, but there's not any place to sit down. And so that's kind of been our motto throughout the spring. We can't sit down. We got to keep getting better. We can't get complacent and got to keep working. So, and that's part of why we're doing what we're doing today.
Well, you mentioned something about graduation last week. I tell you what, we graduated 305 students last week, probably one of the biggest classes we've had in Roswell history. Coach, I saw you. Of course, we were on the top right there, but I did see you in the front stand in the aisle. Tell me about your thoughts on the graduation.
Man, it was just great. I mean, I've never understood why people don't want to go to graduation.
Right.
Like that's payday. You know what I'm saying? That's why we teach. That's why we coach, is to get to see those kids walk across the stage. And it's just a special night to see them all excited and fired up for the next chapter of their lives. So I always like going to graduation. It's a fun time, and again, it's payday. It's fun to watch, and for Roswell High to have 305 graduate, the biggest class we've ever had, that's remarkable, and it's really a credit to our counselors and our administrators and our teachers over there. They do a good job of, really trying to make relationships with every kid in that school, and it's paying off. Our graduation rate's going up, so just excited for those kids.
I'm glad you said that. One of the things before we started talking about football, there was a little bit of a hiccup during graduation. Some of the, the chorus, the band, and everything else, some of the sounds went out. Talk about some of the things that went on. Our student body sung without even music.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about earlier in the year, winners win. And
that's exactly, man. That was awesome, man. Like, for whatever reason, the sound system wasn't working, so they just had to shut off the music, and they had to do it a cappella. And man, those choir kids stepped up, and Nehemiah Getty stepped up. I mean, it was phenomenal, the performance they put on. So, credit to Mr. Hunley and Dr. Gomez. Those guys do a great job with our band and our choir. And it's not just football and basketball. I mean, it's FFA at Roswell High. It's band, it's choir, it's the art clubs, it's the history club. You're trying to make a relationship in all those things. So just do a great job.
All right, Coach. Well, let's shift gears real quick. Let's talk about spring football. Before we even start talking about spring football, this is the first time in New Mexico history. Is that correct?
Well, we could have done it last year.
Okay.
But they approved this really late, and I'd already put out the summer schedule, and I don't think it's fair to ask parents and kids to change their vacations. That we try to put out that summer schedule really early so they can plan vacations, and we want our kids there, and so it's important they have time. So we didn't do it last year. We could have, but we didn't. This year, we've taken the last 2 weeks. We can start the Monday after the state track meet, and we get 2 weeks of practices. And so we practiced all last week. We had 5 practices, and this week we took off Monday, but then we practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then we're going to do our little spring game today. So it's been great. We spend a lot of time in the weight room and the mat room and, running and conditioning, and spring can get a little bit long. This has been really good. I mean, football's not a sport that, you play pickup. You don't play a pickup tackle football game on the weekend.
Right.
In basketball, you can go to the Godfrey and shoot some hoop and play some games. You can get in a softball league and play some baseball. Like, football's not that way. So for us to get an opportunity in the spring to get out of the weight room and get out of conditioning and actually go play the game we love, it's been great for our kids and great for us as coaches.
Talk to us. You said you had a 2 week span right there. Once once track was over with, you had that opportunity. So for the listeners out there, now you and I understand this, but for the listeners out there, what criteria do you have to go by? So in other words, you have to have 3 days in helmets, 5 days in helmets before you get in pads. Can you explain that a little bit to our listeners?
Yeah, you got to go Monday and Tuesday of the first week in just helmets. You got to give the kids time to acclimate. And then you go Wednesday, Thursday in just helmets and shoulder pads. And then Friday you can go full pads. And then this week you can go full pads every day. But there's rules on how much contact you can have and those type things. So, we want to be safe and do everything the right way. But that's the and you can take your 2 weeks anytime. From the time the state track meet ends until July 31st, you can take those 2 weeks of practice anytime you want. We chose to take them immediately because, like we had a kid, Joaquin Bolaños, break his hand. If that had happened in July, now he's probably out the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. If we do get somebody hurt, we've got 2 months to recover, and hopefully they're back by game 1. So we wanted to get it done and have some fun and try to get better during this 2 weeks. So it's been good.
Well, sounds good, Coach. And I'll talk a little bit more after a while once this game is complete this morning. But we're calling this the Red-White Game, first annual. Can you explain the criteria? Can you tell me exactly? I know I have a script right here, but for our listeners that don't have a script, tell us what the rules are. Tell us what the series is about. Tell us per plays, per defense, and offense. It's all yours.
So the format today will be we're going to go offense versus defense. We could have probably split into 2 teams, but when you split into 2 teams, you get a freshman on a senior in some situations, and that's not good. That's not being safe. So we're going to play 2 teams, an offense and a defense. The way it'll work is the defense is going to start out with a 21-point lead, and they've got to protect that lead. And so they can get points for turnovers. They'll get 3 points for every turnover they get. they'll get 1 point for every 3 and out. So if they go 3 downs and get a stop, they'll get 1 point for that. If they score on defense, they'll get 7 points for that. So if they get a 3 and out, a turnover, and a pick six, then they've scored 11 points. So they'll have 32 points at the end of the game. The offense just goes out and plays and tries to score, and they try to run the defense down, so to speak. And so we're gonna give our first offense 10 plays. If they get inside the 10-yard line, they can finish the drive.
Okay.
If not, they have to punt or they can kick a field goal. All right. So our first team offense will get 10 plays. Our second team offense will get 10 plays. Our third string or our JV offense will get 10 plays. Then we'll do it again. First team, second team, third team. And then right before halftime, we'll have a 2-minute segment where we'll line up and we'll go a 2-minute drill where we're trying to score. Kind of last series of the game, last series of the half, we'll try to score then. We'll take a halftime, we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and do another 10-play segment with our first, second, and third team. And then we'll see where we're at. We'd like for each group to get about, 30 to 40 plays, and so that'd be about 120 plays for all 3 of the groups, and that should take about an hour and a half, 2 hours. We'll have officials out there. We'll have a chain gang out there. Coach Fuller is going to run the scoreboard for us, and we'll have some music going. We checked out uniforms today. We're going to wear our game uniforms. Offense is going to wear white jerseys and red pants, and then our defense is going to wear red jerseys and black pants. So we checked out the uniforms, and so it should be fun. We're going to treat it just like a game, and hopefully, hopefully we get some work and we get out of there without any injuries and just have a good time playing the game of football.
Well, we're going to treat this just like a game. We're doing our pregame interview, of course, on Thursday. And, of course, the game will be on KSVPTV.com for the listeners and watchers. But, Coach, you're talking about, and I had the opportunity this week to go out to your practices and watch the kids and see exactly what's going on with the kids. They're motivated. They're pumped up. They're ready to rock and roll. But, Coach, tell me about your coaching staff again this year. And then we'll talk about the kids. We'll talk about offense and defense and some of the standout players that we'll have this year. But I'm telling you, it's been fun seeing your interaction with the kids, seeing everybody just rocking and rolling, hustling. There's not walking going on in the fields. We're ready to rock and roll. And it's game time right this moment. I'm ready to play game 1, week 1 of New Mexico football, but that's how I'm taking it tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's the way we're taking it. As far as our coaching staff, unfortunately, Coach Forster wasn't able to come back, our defensive coordinator from last year. So I'm gonna take on that role. And we're going to turn the offense over to OG, and Coach Gomez will be the coordinator. He'll call the plays. And Coach Ramos and OG, they're going to run that side of the ball. Coach Boggs is going to move up and be our defensive line coach. I'll coach the secondary, and then Coach Lovato will coach our linebackers. So not too much change. We'll still run basically the same defensive scheme. So we did have some turnover in our coaching staff, but that happens. But for the most part, we've got a lot of continuity there. So, and then players, I mean, we lost so much defensively. We've got a couple of kids coming back that are good. Our corners are coming back, which is good. Isaiah Aranda and Kyle Williams and Nick Anaya. And then David Frescas is scheduled to start. He's a sophomore. He'll be a junior next year. He'll start for us back there. Up front, we got to replace all those guys. So, but I think we'll be all right. I mean, we got Daniel Borrego and Ethan Lopez in there. And then David Gauman, who was a really good player for us last year, who spelled a lot of those guys on defense. And then our linebackers, probably our most experienced group there, with Joaquin Bolaños and Cannon Ramage. And then JoJo Garcia will fill in. And so a good, solid defense. It'll be interesting to watch those kids come together and play tomorrow. It'll be important that they play well. That'll be our black defense. On offense, the big thing is we return our offensive line, 4 out of the 5 starters on the offensive line. And then we've got a kid that's going to step in there at center who's done a really good job this spring, Edgar Soltero. Those offensive linemen are big. And I told somebody a couple weeks ago, I think this has the opportunity to be our best offensive line. They're big and they're physical and they're mean and they get after it. So really excited about the offensive line. Luke Lynn is going to go to quarterback. He's not Jacob Palomino. He doesn't run like Jacob Palomino, but he throws a good ball. And so you could probably see us throw the ball a little bit more this year with him. And we got Kobe Sanchez and Isaac Gonzalez and Jadrian Garcia and Allen Ingram at the receiver spot. And then 2 really good running backs in Rendon Duran and Nate Lujan. those guys have a chance to be. They're different than the guys we've had in the past. They're speed guys, but they've got a chance to be really good. And then probably one of our better players on the whole team is Noah Estrada. He's going to move from outside receiver into our our cruiser position, and he's had a really good spring. Really excited about him. So got a lot of guys coming back, and looking forward to seeing how those guys compete today. So been good.
Coach, I was going to ask you, there are a lot of familiar names, and one of the things that, Kelly and I always talk about, last year you probably could have put the game away, a few games away right away, but you give the opportunity for your kids to get varsity experience, which I love. That's how you build programs. But, we didn't talk about your freshman program and the JV program last year. You want to talk about them a little bit?
Yeah, we won't have our freshmen out there today. It'll just be a JV team, and that group's really good. I mean, that team was 7-2 and won the border conference, and then they've had a good spring. So, we do some different things on the JV and varsity level than we do on the varsity level. So it's been these 9 practices have been a learning experience. But we're going to put them out there and we're going to let them play. So really excited about the quarterback. That group, Andrew Fuentes, he's the brother of Manny Fuentes. Manny started for us for 2 years. He's doing a good job with that group. And then there's some really good skill kids there, and really excited about the linemen. And I mean, it's a good group. So it'll be fun to watch those kids as well.
Well, sounds good, Coach. And looks like we're just about minutes away from. You want to call it kickoff, or?
Yeah, we'll call it kickoff.
You'll call it kickoff.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day for sure. Anything in closing, Coach? You want to talk about the next year's schedule?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just basically the same thing we played last year. And we open with Los Lunas, then we go to Alamogordo, and then we have Hobbs, and then we go into our district schedule. So basically the same schedule. Hadn't really thought about it a whole lot, but after today, we'll start focusing in on that a little bit.
Before we close, Coach, talk about we're talking about spring ball right now, but what about summer ball? When is specific dates? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so after today, we're going to give them the whole month of June off. So we'll give them the whole month of June. We feel like that's important at Roswell High. Yes, we need to give our basketball and baseball and wrestling kids that also play football some time to spend with those other sports. That's one of the reasons we share so many athletes is Coach Barola and Coach Boggs. We all work together. And so we give them June, go play basketball, go wrestle, go play baseball, go do your thing. And then when June 30th gets here, then we'll start football, and we'll have a 4-week session there where we get after it and try to get back in shape and learn what we need to learn. The other thing I would add is, we've got a fundraiser going on. Yes. The link is on our Facebook page. If you would like to donate, we're right at our goal. Our goal is to raise $40,000, and I think I checked it this morning. We were at 38, so we're about $1,600 away from our goal. We'd like to hit that goal. And again, that money goes directly to our kids. We feed our kids. We clothe our kids. We pay for our banquet. I mean, there's a lot of things that we have to pay for with that money. And so if you'd like to donate to our fundraiser, we'll put that link on our Facebook page and our Twitter page, and we'd appreciate you guys helping us out with that if you could.
That's all Straight Booster Club and
Straight Booster Club, nothing to do with school. Yes, sir. 501c3,
everything else.
And we can get you. If you want to donate some money, it's a tax deduction, and so we can get you all those documents.
Sounds good. And one of the last thing here, Coach, is of course this game this morning. Parents are invited. Everything else like that. It's rocking and rolling.
Yeah, free admission. Again, like if you can't be there, they're gonna stream it on KSVP. We're gonna have a little cookout at the end of the game for all our kids. Booster Club's gonna cook out for our kids. Again, that's part of the reason we raise money is to feed our kids. So it's gonna be a fun morning, and it'll be fun. And again, let's get out of here healthy and let's have some fun.
All right, Coach. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, sounds good. Art Sandoval, Jeff Lynn, getting ready for kickoff for the red-white spring game. All right. We'll see you here in just a bit. KSVPTV.com. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Coyote Football, KSVPTV.com, May 30th, 2025. Art Sandoval, Kelly McDonald. It is a Friday, Coach.
It's morning.
And it's morning, 10 a.m. And this, my friends, is going to be the spring 2025 white-red football game. And, I'll tell you this right now. This is going to be a little different, as this is the first opportunity for high school students in the state of New Mexico. It actually started last year, Coach, but this year the Roswell
decided to go ahead and participate this year. And there's many rules and different things that we will talk about throughout this contest. About an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depends on the rules and everything else of that sort, Coach. But good morning. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. We're doing football already. I mean, we just got off the air with baseball and softball, and I know it'll still be a while till it's real games, but this is exciting for me.
Well, Coach, I'll tell you this. Right now, let's just go over some of the rules real quick as, you know, the people that are not here. And actually, we have a great crowd here at the Wool Bowl, and almost like a regular football game. But we have some different rules here, and this is actually through, I think it's through the state of New Mexico. And so what happens, Coach, is it's going to start out this way. The defense will start out with 21 points. And if you notice on the scoreboard, it says 21-0 with 14:28 left on the clock. Defense will get 3 points for turnovers, and then defense will get 7 points if they score a defensive touchdown. Defense will also get 1 point for 3 and out, and then the quarterbacks will be two-hand touch below the waist. And look at that right there. We'll talk about some of these players, Coach. You know, you and I talked about the 2024, the 5A New Mexico State champions, and a lot of similar names here, but we'll go over that here in just a moment. And as we're going to talk about, it's all series will start at the 35-yard line, Coach. First offense will play first defense, 10 plays. Second offense versus second defense, 10 plays. And then the JV offense versus JV defense for 10 plays. We'll do this twice before half and then one time after half. After half, we'll do a 2-minute segment with each team. After the 2-minute segment, we'll see where each team is and play and maybe do another 10-play segment if necessary. If the offense gets inside the 10-yard line and the 10 plays expire, they can finish the drive, and then outside the 10 will either be a field goal or 3 and out, and then the offense will wear red pants and white jerseys, as opposed to the defense who will be wearing black pants and red jerseys.
That's a lot to deal with, but you know, this is new to me. This spring football. I think I went to one years ago, but I haven't even had much experience with this. But it's just good to see the new guys out there, and like I said, we'll talk about some of these guys from last year. You got Luke Lynn as the starting quarterback right now, and they got a first down. But again, they're just going to run 10 plays. So,
and they're going to do everything they can to keep, as we mentioned earlier, two-hand touch for the quarterbacks underneath at least the waist. They might be able to hit every once in a while, but again, if you're just now tuning in to KSVPTV.com, we had about a 15, 16-minute pregame interview with Coach Lynn, the commander-in-chief. And I tell you what, I don't know if I got more excited or he got more excited. We talked and recapped the season, the 24 season, and then, of course, he just went straight to the season and said, hey, listen, that's great, we won it, but we've got to start over.
Well, yeah, and that's the mentality you got to have for these elite programs in the state. You know, enjoy it when it happens, appreciate it when it happens, talking about a state championship, but you got to get ready for the next one almost immediately.
Oh, Coach, look at that right there. That's got to make sure the white jerseys are the offense.
Isaac Gonzalez. A couple of good runs for him already.
Yeah, a couple of good runs, and some of the standouts or some of the highlighted, I don't know if you have it on your roster or not, but you mentioned Isaac Gonzalez. You have Colby Sanchez, and a lot of people thought he was a senior. So you have Colby Sanchez, and you mentioned earlier the quarterback, potential quarterback this year, more than likely will be Luke Lynn, and then Nathaniel Lujan, and then Daniel Chavez Gonzalez, and then Clayton Kennard. Those are some of the highlighted white jerseys. And again, the traditional offense for Roswell is going to be, actually in an empty set now. You got that trips to the bottom half and twins to the top. Luke Lynn, that quarterback, and reading the defense. And, Coach, there is that dump ball again. And the Coyotes, I'm going to tell you what, have 2 weeks. So there's traditionally, you have to have so many days in helmets. You have to have the 2 days in helmets. Actually, the 5 days in helmets, and then 2 days without the shoulder pads and so forth, and then you got to go back to the start. You got to go back and do anything. And so I actually had the opportunity this week to go to practice at 7 o'clock in the morning the last 3 days at least. And just the work ethic these young people have. and the coaches as well.
Well, you saw how pumped up Coach Lynn was prior to the start of this scrimmage. And again, if you're going to have an elite program, that's the kind of attitude you're going to have, and it's going to be from top down. It's going to be starting with Coach Lynn and the staff and going all the way down, to the, every backup on the freshman team.
Also, he did mention Rendon Duran also is going to be getting some reps this year. Like I said, this is a spring game, even though we're only a week out of school. And the reason for that, they couldn't even start doing this until after the state track meet. They wanted to give everybody an opportunity to finish their prospective sports in the spring. And then I tell you what, these kids were just pumped up and ready to go after the track season and even some of baseball.
That's Nate Lujan with the catch, and not much there on that one. But yeah, you're starting to see, what's gonna happen here with this Coyote offense, and of course a lot could change between now and August. But it's just good to see some of these guys out here again. Lost so many great seniors from last year's team on both sides of the ball. It's going to be an interesting year for the Coyotes. They'll be there at the end. They'll be there, but a lot of question marks and a lot of things have to come together between now and when the games count for real.
There's Luke Lynn going to roll out to his left side. There's going to be the pass into the end zone, and I'm going to tell you one thing with this young man. Coach Lynn did mention, he goes, he will more than likely end up getting the start, but here's the thing. He did mention that he did try, well, I shouldn't say compare, but he did it to a point, Jacob Palomino as opposed to Luke Lynn. Luke can throw the ball pretty good. Jacob could throw and run, so he thought maybe this year there might be potential where they're going to be a passing offensive team as opposed to a running, but that could change as well.
Well, and, Luke's fine around the ball. He's such a big, strong kid, and he had a couple of runs there in that first series. He's going to be hard to get down. Now, he's not going to juke you out of your shoes and then, hit the afterburners and beat you that way.
Sure.
But, he'll still be effective in the running game, but yeah, he's a different quarterback than Jacob Palomino, and we saw his arm there as he overthrows Isaac Gonzalez and Gonzalez was open on that play. That needs to be a touchdown. Come August, September, that needs to be a touchdown to play like that. So, you can see that there's work to be done, but yeah, that kid can throw it. A couple of baseball pitchers there. You're comparing those two guys, and yeah, they can sling it for sure.
One of the things too, Coach, and you look at the sidelines, you have the white jerseys over here on the west side, and of course on the east side is the defense on the black or the red and black attire there, the apparel there. But if you notice, Joaquin Bolaños is not in uniform, and you know why, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and that's something I did communicate with Jeff Lynn about too, and I asked him, I said, well, is there a time period that you can play with this? Do you have to go at the end of school? Can you go in the end of June? Can you go in July? And the answer is yes, you can. But he decided to go ahead and do this spring game immediately, so he is going to actually take the whole month off of June and give everybody an opportunity to rest and play their prospective sports such as baseball and basketball if they need to. So he was very optimistic about football, but he was also very supportive of other programs as Roswell High. Of course, that's how we work at Roswell High School. The month of June is pretty much baseball, softball, and boys and girls basketball. And the month of July is, soccer, football, and so forth. But he was very optimistic about it. And, he just says, everybody needs a rest.
Sure. And, it just goes to show how the coaches work with each other at Roswell High School. That's not the case in every school in the state. So, to me, that's where you get your success. You got to share those elite athletes, and you got to share some of those, just good athletes too. And it'll be to the betterment of both programs. In fact, I believe some of the basketball players are leaving immediately after this game to go to a summer basketball event. So, yeah, that's the way you do it.
All right, Luke Lynn here at quarterback in that pistol formation. We'll hand it off, and as we mentioned, currently the defense with the lead, 22-0 with 9:32 left here. And as we mentioned earlier, there is different rules here. And We just got to get adapted to this. Again, this is just spring ball, and look at this, Coach. This is beautiful. Look at all the people here.
Yeah, this is way more than I thought. I thought we just have a few diehards out here, but this is a pretty good crowd.
So you have Gavin Armstrong up there at the top of your screen as well, going to be getting some reps as well. And then, of course, look at Luke Lynn in that pistol formation. Coach, another thing that you've always said this, even in the past and currently, the front line offensively for the Roswell Coyotes, guess what? They're all returning.
Ooh. Yeah, they're the front line for the offense. Yeah, okay. The offensive line, they are all returning.
Line, with the exception of the center, but I think they can get that taken care of.
Sure. Well, and you know, there's probably some position flex that could go into that. I'm not sure if they're just going to go with the JV center from last year or if they're going to move one of the guards inside or something like that. But, yeah, that'll be a strength. One of the strengths of this Coyote team this year is having that offensive line back, those guys that do the dirty work in there. Conversely, though, defensively, they lose all four from that maybe best defensive line I've ever seen since I've been doing this.
All right, here's Luke Lynn, and in a little bit of trouble with that defense, but a nice dump over to number 37.
Don't have a 37 on the white team, do we?
Not yet, we don't. We can find that out later on, but just looking at Luke Lynn, I mean, we know he has the arm. He can throw it 50-plus yards in the air. I mean, not even warming up, Coach, and that's just the way he is.
Well, yeah, you saw him just flip that ball out to Isaac Gonzalez earlier and threw it about 7 yards over his head. You know, that's great when you're looking at it for arm strength. But,
yep.
You know, the other part of that is you need the accuracy, and you need to be able to get air under the ball so your receivers can go get it.
So it looks like the second unit now will come on the field, I believe. That looks like that's going to be –
it's going to be Andrew Fuentes.
Andrew Fuentes.
Yeah, so a name we're familiar with. Last name anyway, for the Coyotes. So that's this kid's a good athlete. He's not very big. Of course, he could grow because he's young, but I'm interested to see how well he's progressed. I'm not sure I've seen him play the quarterback position since middle school. So,
yeah, the younger brother of Manny Fuentes, and then of course he got a lot of reps at that freshman level, and of course I did see a lot of the games. You know, anywhere from the freshman JV and varsity level. And, Coach, that's another thing. You have 150, 160 kids in this program, freshmen through seniors, and the success the freshman program had last year. And, of course, the JV, I think the JV went undefeated and the freshmen went.
Well, between the two, I forget who.
Lost
one of them had
one
one loss, and it was on a controversial call even. The coaches will tell you with something to do with the clock and a field goal or something like that.
New Mexico Military Institute, I believe that's what it was.
So, I mean, those younger levels, well, you talk about, I think we had 2 losses in the football program last year, right?
That's correct.
Yeah,
and that was
2 losses.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's impressive, obviously. But I think your point is that, you know, these teams were highly successful at the lower levels, and you know, you have to have that too to build a successful program. It's not all about, you know, just the varsity.
Look at the ball he throws. Now, that's a dump pass over here to the flat area. And tell you what, that's really, really good play to Logan Hoover. And he also throws a good ball. I'm just telling you. He drops back. He stays in the pocket. He's in trouble, throws it into the flat area, and there's positive yardage there for the offense here in the second unit.
Well, and, you know, he's had a good mentor. You know, he's got the advantage of you know, growing up with a older brother who went through all this and was a starter, a varsity starter for 3 years. You know, 1 year in Dexter and 2 years at Roswell High. So, you know, he's got a lot of advantages, and I'm interested to see how he'll do.
All right, 23-0 is the score here in favor of the defense of the Roswell Coyotes, and of course. They're trying to keep the quarterbacks up, and as we mentioned earlier, this is more like the coach. How do we say it in professional football? The
red jerseys?
Well, no. You know, after the Super Bowl's over with, they play it before now. The All-Star game.
Oh, the Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl. There you go. Thank you. That's what it kind of is. You want to keep the quarterback's healthy. You don't want nobody hurt. And but don't get me wrong. There's been some hitting this week in practice.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, these guys, they want to hit, and actually they want to be hit. I mean, that's just kind of the mentality you got to have. And like you said, there's rules about helmets and contact and non-contact and that kind of stuff. In fact, you could hear Coach Lynn get upset at his defense because they hit Andrew on that play when they weren't supposed to. There's 2 high snaps in a row.
All right, quick dumper again. Oh, look at that move right there. Is that I have number 24. That's I have a couple.
Luis Ramirez.
Luis Ramirez. Okay. Well, then we have another number 24 here, Pat Darin as well. So.
Well, but that's on the red jerseys.
That's on the red jerseys. Okay. Perfect. All right, 23-0 is now the score in favor of the defense of the Roswell Coyotes. And I tell you, Coach, I'm just thrilled about this. All right, under center is Fuentes. He's going to reset and get some direction now from the offensive coordinator.
So Andrew's, going to be a sophomore next year. I really think Manny was taller by the time he was a sophomore. So that's going to be something he's going to have to deal with. Is that he doesn't have Manny's size yet. He could have a growth spurt, but he looks a little small out there for being the quarterback, but doesn't mean he can't be successful.
Well, at least right here in this spring game, they're trying something different right now. You have OG, you have Derek Gomez, you have Alejandro Ramos. They're all probably just kind of taking turns, running that offense right now. And, of course, Coach Lynn's over there on the east side, taking care of the defense at least tonight. So we'll see how that goes. So now the Roswell Coyotes offense, the white squad, will go back to the 35, and nobody has scored offensively just yet. And look at that, just
look at
said that,
move.
Luis Rodriguez, and that's going to be a touchdown for the white team.
Wow, what a move.
And look at that, and that's going to be the white jerseys, Luis Rodriguez, if I'm correct. Is that what you have?
That's what I have.
Nice spin move, and as I say, nobody has scored yet. Nice long run, and what do you have there, Coach? From the 35-yard line, is that correct?
Yeah, I think it was the first play, so that's going to be a 65-yard touchdown.
Yeah, 65-yard touchdown, and the white is on the board 24-7 now in favor of the defense of the Roswell Coyotes. We are here at the Wool Bowl, the white versus red spring football game. KSVPTV.com, Art Sandoval, Kelly McDonald, Roswell High football. And people have football fever. Look at this, guys. This Wool Bowl is filling up here on the west side. And at the conclusion of this, Coach, the Roswell High Booster Club will be also having a barbecue for all these ball players and the coaching staffs.
Francisco Guzman with the carry there.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice. You have some music going on in the atmosphere here, and really nice. I don't know what you have for a temperature, Coach, but I tell you what, it's a nice one.
Yeah, it was only like 70 degrees when I got here, so probably a little warmer than that, but won't be. I don't think it'll be in the 80s before we're done.
Well, right at 71 degrees, and no wind. There's
Yeah,
Fuentes going to go up the middle, and that pass was. Is that number 27?
Looked like it.
Landon Lucero. I don't know how you feel, Coach, but I see all these numbers here, and I still visualize. I see number 8. So when I'm seeing number 8, who does that remind you of?
Manny Fuentes.
Yeah, and then, of course, if you see certain numbers on there, it reminds me of those past players. And
Yeah, they got to reset, You got to going all the way back to some of those earlier championship teams in our earlier years of doing this, and yeah, it's sometimes the brain goes backwards.
All right, 24-7 in favor of the red team. And now that's number 10 is the quarterback. It's going to be Andrew Fuentes in pistol formation. Behind him there, Coach, is who?
Can't see the number.
That's Luis Rodriguez, I believe, and
Oh,
looks
boy.
like Fuentes is in trouble. So the defense, we're talking about the offense, but look at the defense, Coach. For the first team and the second team, it looks like they're kind of doing their job.
Well, Axel Salcido with a sack there of Fuentes. But no, yeah, we haven't called out names on defense yet, and I have to remember too. Missing, you mentioned it earlier, Joaquin Bolaños, and what he's going to do for this team. Well, he's going to do a lot for this team. But,
Yep, right.
But what he's is starting middle linebacker last year, also played some offense in the big dog formation. Be interesting to see just where he gets used for the Coyotes this year. If he's going to be defense again, if he's going to be offense, I think he'll mostly be defense again. But he Coach says he might be the best player he has this year.
Yeah, I think overall, I think he has that experience, as you mentioned. He was, playing middle linebacker, but it was also offensively in the big dog package that we're all going to miss. But I tell you what, Jeff has that special team that he's going to develop that eventually. And I don't know how he does it, but these kids play for him, and he comes up with, I tell you what, just about anything. And I'm very excited to see how this is going to happen this coming year. But Joaquin Bolaños, he does have that wrist that is kind of injured at this time, so he has some time to recuperate, and he'll be just fine. There's Fuentes in trouble and little throw to the flat area. And we have double sixes. We have Alex Lomeli and then Diego Sanchez. Not sure which one is which.
Yeah, I think that's Diego Sanchez, but that made the catch there. But nice little throw on the move from Fuentes. You can see he's comfortable back there. You
Right.
know, he's got enough experience that he's comfortable with that position, and that's so important for a quarterback.
All right, 25-7 is the score in favor of the red team, which is the defense. Fuentes, the quarterback in pistol, will hand that off over to Francisco Guzman. Now, Coach, with 160 kids in the program and varsity-wise, there's going to be some, you might two platoon. I know Jeff likes to do that kind of stuff, but, just a great problem to have, isn't it?
Well, it is, and I can remember one year at Roswell High, and this is a long time ago, that it was back when I was coaching tennis, and I had a lot of people in my tennis program. I actually had more people in the tennis program than was in the football program. I think I had 55 in tennis, and they had 53 or something in football. And just the difference there. You got to be a special athlete to play both ways for the Roswell Coyotes.
All right, so here comes the Roswell Coyotes white team. Fuentes at quarterback, and
Beautiful
we'll
ball.
throw it out to the flat area again, and it's going to be close to a first down. And look at this, Coach. You have officials out here. You have a chain gang. You have, for the most part.
There's the special rules and everything, but it's a football game. It's
Yeah. Sure is. And I'm looking at the defense. We haven't mentioned anything on the defense, but for the defense, you have Ethan Lopez, you have Daniel Borrego, Cannon Ramage, Nick Anaya, Joaquin Bolaños that's currently injured, but David Galmond. Those are some of the players that are going to be very effective for this.
Well, Luis
Roswell High
Rodriguez might be a name that we need to be aware of. He's one of those little quick running backs. He's obviously the one that scored on the long touchdown, but another good run there. He just looked impressive so far today. And getting back to your point about the defense, David Galmont. We don't beat Artesia, at least in the first time we beat him.
You're right.
Without David Galmont. He's going to be a star on the defense. And a guy who didn't start but will be a star, I promise you, this year on the defense will be Cannon Ramage.
All right, Fuentes dropping back to pass in trouble and is going to take a shot at the
Perfect.
third level.
Perfect.
And that looks like it's going to be number 6 in for a touchdown.
Diego Sanchez, we think.
Well, we know it's either Diego Sanchez or Alex Lomeli, but more than likely it's Sanchez for another Coyote touchdown.
Yeah, and a beautiful ball. Once again, by Fuentes. Fuentes doesn't have the zip maybe that we're used to with the last couple of quarterbacks that we've been covering at this level, with Fuentes and Palomino and Luke Lynn. But I'll tell you what, he's thrown some balls that were just right on the money on this drive.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, been a lot of fun. Right now it's about 10:24, so we still have about another hour and a half worth of football here. And now the white team will go back and reset at the 35-yard line. You got about 4 minutes or 4 seconds left here. Let's see if they take a shot down the field here. Is that Luke Lynn at the quarterback position?
Yeah, back to Luke Lynn. Rendon Duran behind him.
All right.
Oh, it's not Rendon.
Speed option.
Oh, nice spin from Luke Lynn, but they're going to say
all right, so
down.
That's going to end it. I suppose we can take a break. All right, we'll be right back. Coyote football, we're here at the spring game, KSVPTV.com. We'll be right back.
So you've made it to Roswell, the UFO capital of the world. You've been to the museum, seen some aliens, maybe even taken a few pictures with our sign. But now it's really time to see Roswell. How? With our cool new app. With the app, you can find shopping, restaurants, places to stay, places to play, tours, museums, and even set your plan. And for the locals who say there's nothing to do in Roswell, our app has a list of events and happenings around town. Pretty cool, right? So head over to the App Store, download, and see Roswell today. It's available for Apple and Android. You need some help?
I'd love some.
Here, do you want me to take it with you?
Yeah, with me.
All right.
Great. Ready?
Cool.
Roswell!
Woo!
All right, welcome back to KSVPTV.com. Coyote football, we're here at the Wool Bowl, the spring game. I know it's in May, but we have the red-white game, I should say. Art Sandoval, Kelly McDonald, the defense currently in the lead, 25-14. And back at quarterback is Luke Lynn.
Yeah, and in a third and long situation, you're going to see him air one out here.
And look at the ball there, and it might be caught.
Yeah, he got it. What a
Look at
catch.
that.
And what a throw. Luke Lynn on the money on that one.
Jadrian Garcia.
Jadrian Garcia. Nice catch in traffic. And a very typical third and long play. You have to unload it down the field whether he's covered or not, basically. And a real nice throw and a real nice catch.
Just very, very impressive with Luke Lynn and the ball he throws into traffic, as you mentioned. Luke, probably about 6'2", maybe 6'3" now. Is that what you're guessing?
Yeah, I mean, in that area.
Has no problem seeing over the line. And there's going to be just a quick toss over to Nate Lujan. And Nate had a very there's a flag, but Nate had a very good JV season and got some reps at the varsity last year as well. And I tell you what, he's very impressive as well.
Yeah, he showed flashes at the varsity level in obviously limited action. But, yeah, he kind of dominated that JV level from what I understand. And he's going to be in the mix running the football for the Coyotes this year as well.
All right, so as we mentioned, if you're just now tuning in at KSVPTV.com, the first offense versus the first defense, they have 10 plays. And, of course, the same thing for the second defense and the second offense, 10 plays. JV will also have 10 plays as they go defense and offense. And then, of course, we will do this twice before half and then one time after halftime. So a lot of reps here for these new Coyotes. I shouldn't say new Coyotes, but this new season. And that's number 2 again. That's going to be, is that Rendon Duran?
Mm-hmm.
And some of you mentioned you're talking about the defense on the red jerseys. You're also talking about Isaiah Aranda. Guys, we've been saying these names for a couple of years now, and especially last year, but Isaiah Aranda, he's a returner again, and he's going to be probably the starting cornerback as well, or one of them, and he's going to get quality reps on the defensive side. And, of course, number 6, David, I guess it's, is it Fresquez, number 6 on there?
Yeah, that's a typo there. It's Fresquez.
Look at Lynn's going to throw the ball again, and that's going to be caught. And it's going to be close.
Off the back foot.
That's number 8 again, and we don't have a number 8 on the roster, do we?
No. So, little disappointing. We can't give the credit where credit's due there, but number 8 with a nice catch and just a flip throw off the back foot as he's kind of fading away there. You see the arm strength from Luke Lynn. So Diego Sanchez is 8. So
Diego Sanchez is 8. Okay, sounds good. And then we'll get.
So the 6 was Lomelli that we.
So it was Lomelli.
We were calling Diego Sanchez. So.
All right, so Coyotes white team about the 1 yard line. Let's see what they do. A little quick toss over to the right side, and good defense. And that's number 32, if I'm not mistaken.
Cannon Ramage.
And another highlight.
Yeah, he's the real deal. I remember Coach Lynn telling me at one point last year he would be starting for every other team in the state at linebacker.
Sure.
And just couldn't get him on the field just because of the depth and obviously the state champs and that tough defense.
All right, so Luke Lynn in that pistol formation, the white team about the
4
yard, 3 or 4 yard line in pistol formation. Let's see if Luke will throw one in himself, and he's going to the end zone, and nice defense. That's number 10.
Noah Fuss?
Noah Fuss, yes.
Yeah, threw that one in traffic, and actually a couple of Coyotes had a chance to make a play there. And I think looking at the opposite side of the field here, is that Bolaños?
Over there on the 30?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's over there taking a break, and he acts like he's hurt or something.
Trying to identify those other 2 guys. Looks like maybe some holdovers from last year.
All right, here's the white team about the 4 yard line.
Oh,
and
look, Luke Lynn out, split wide.
Yeah, I guess who's at quarterback?
Well, this is some kind of Wildcat situation.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Isaac Gonzalez. And the defense going to do a job here.
Yeah. That's a great thing about calling a intra-squad here is no matter what happens on the play, your team did good.
Well, we still have some time. If you want to come out to the Wool Bowl, man, I'm telling you. Coach, we've only been out of school a week. Summer school starts next week for Roswell High School, at least. I don't know. I think it's probably district-wide. But just being here at the Wool Bowl, seeing this crowd and all the kids together again, I'm telling you what, you believe this or not, I'm ready to start school.
Well, I don't believe that. That's good PR, but I don't believe that for a second.
Well, Coach, summer school starts next week. You know us, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to take a couple of days off, but we'll have to be there anyway. So that's kind of just having that in a jokey manner. So you have about 2 months off.
Well, not quite that long, but I'm looking forward to a break.
Yeah, good. Well deserved, Coach. All right, so the defense wins that series. So now the score is 26-14 in favor of the defense here. And let's see. Guess we're going to reset here. I guess we can take another break. How about that?
Let's do it.
All right. We'll be right back. KSVPTV.com, Coyote Football.
Our new business solution is providing an amazing Wi-Fi experience. Frankie's Cafe is booming more than ever. I'm here, undercover, to check it out.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Hi. Would you mind taking a video I can upload to TikTok?
Oh, this happens a lot. Sure, I'm a TikTok guy. You can add different music.
Oh, no, I meant, can you take a video of us?
And that's called a photo.
All right, welcome back to Coyote Football, KSVPTV.com. Red-white game, May 30th, 2025. Art Sandoval, Kelly McDonald, and the defense currently in the lead, 26-14 with special rules. And looks like we have a new quarterback. Oh, it is. It's going to be
It's Fuentes.
Fuentes again. Okay. So Fuentes in quarterback, pistol formation again.
Nice run. Is that Logan Hoover?
Yeah, Logan also had some good reps at the JV level last year and a few in the varsity. And I tell you what, I don't. These guys are going to be huge.
Well, Coach will play to his strengths. You talked about maybe the offense being a little different than it was last year because of the quarterback. That's just something that Coach Lynn and his staff do really well. They see what they have and they make the most of it. They don't put them into a system where they have to do something.
Nice pass by Fuentes over to looks like Grayson Nichols. Tell you what, they're just another Nichols on the football team.
Well, I think that's Daniel.
I believe it was
Guevara.
Nichols, number 3, isn't it? Grayson Nichols?
31.
31, I beg your pardon. Daniel Guevara, okay.
So I didn't know there was another.
There is,
Nichols.
yes, sir. Yeah, and also I believe he also wrestles as well, and good athletes. And all right, there comes Fuentes rolling out to the right side, and we'll just dump that out, and it will be incomplete. Pass was intended for Luis Ramirez.
Yeah, and that's really the first bad throw that we've seen from Fuentes. Showed the speed a little bit, getting away from that defender on the edge, but threw the ball low and behind his receiver on the run.
Coach, we were talking also, Jeff and I were also talking in pregame. We were talking about the season, this upcoming season. I said, is there anything different? And, of course, Jeff, he says, no, we're gonna play ball. We're going to keep that same schedule for the most part. And, Los Lunas, I think you and I did the Los Lunas game up there last year, and this year it's going to be down here. And so really the same schedule.
Well, the schedule's easy when you play in a 17 district or an 18 district. I mean,
we start district week 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You just have to worry about 3 non-district opponents. So, yeah, that'll be and just won the state championship. It ain't broke,
That's true. Very, very true. So, Coach, so it was Los Lunas, Carlsbad Hobbs. Does that sound about right?
It does.
Okay. And then, of course, you go right back into district play. And then, of course, Chaparral will end up, I think you and I will have to.
Well, Chaparral's not in our district.
No, I'm trying to think who was in that 17 district.
Oh, well, we'll have to go. I think we go to Santee this year. Unless we do it from the studio. And then, look here.
Nice ball by Fuentes.
Not a bad ball.
And then, that's something that you and I will probably do. It saves some time, but it's not like, calling a game at the field. That's always great. But
I'd much rather do it live, but that's a long trip. And, we went to, or you didn't go. I think I went to Deming by myself. Or did you go to
you and
Deming?
I did.
No,
it was the Memorial Stadium at KSVP at the.
Oh, yeah.
And then we did the Farmington, but you did that one by yourself. I was on a special hunt.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, we'll have Deming at home, but we'll have Santa Teresa on the road. And then what's the other one?
Yeah, Deming will come here, Santa Teresa on the road. But there was another far trip that I thought it was – why am I thinking Chaparral?
I can't think of the other district team.
Oh, look at that. That's number 9 around the turn.
Rodriguez again.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
So we're going to have to look that up, aren't we?
Yeah, it's going to bug me.
Right. Until we're not in mid-season form.
All right, 26-14 is your score here. About 2 minutes left. The red-white game. Fuentes at quarterback, pistol formation. He's going to hand it off, and good hard run. That's Logan Hoover again. You probably find it faster than I will.
Yeah, I've got it.
All right, so here comes Andrew Fuentes. Andrew Fuentes looking to the west side, getting some direction from Gomez and Ramos
Gadsden, the team we can't think of is Gadsden.
Gadsden, thank you.
And apologies to Gadsden.
And, there's another hard run. Logan Hoover inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, he's hard to get down. He's kind of that Mike Allstott type that is going to be hard to get down when he gets his carries. Carries will probably be limited, playing that kind of fullback tight end hybrid position. But yeah, he'll be not easy to get down. So talking about district from last year. Last year the non-district were Alamogordo, Hobbs, Lovington. Of course, the loss to Lovington. But I'm not sure. I mean, we had lost Lunas, but I forget. I think we still play Hobbs and Lovington. So I think they're taking the place of Alamogordo in the non-district schedule next year. And then we'll have home games against Deming, Artesia, Mayfield, and road games. Oh, and Lovington.
Lovington's, right, okay.
Oh, that's right, because we were shorted a game last year. Remember?
Oh, the Los Lunas game. That was week 1.
Yeah, so that's
due to lightning.
Right. So, yeah, I think we play Los Lunas at home this year.
Busted play there as Fuentes was going to try to toss over to the left side. Everybody else went to the right, so that's why you're trying to get this going.
So the road district games this coming year will be Santa Teresa, Gadsden, and Goddard. So
really, we'll be at home a lot this year. All right.
We will be at home a lot. So have Lovington at home, have Artesia at home. That'll be good.
Speaking of Goddard, I'm not sure if they're doing a spring game or.
Yeah, I hadn't heard.
I haven't heard. I would like to see it if they are.
Sure.
Just to see what they have coming up. 26-14 is your score here at the Wool Bowl in favor of the red team. There's Fuentes. Looks like a slip screen, and it's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, real good defense out there by number 16. That's Adrian Archuleta. And just arriving at the same time as the football and had that play sniffed out.
Coach, you might know this, and I don't have the answer just yet. I know Coach Lynn was talking about giving, his squad the month of June off, and then, of course, start back up in July. Now, I'm not sure if there's going to be some weights involved in that or not, but the 7-on-7, do you know when 7-on-7 is going to be here in New Mexico Military?
No, I have not heard.
There's Fuentes going to the end zone, and that's going to be incomplete, and I believe that is Diego Sanchez. Is that correct? Number 8?
Yes, with Matt Flores on the coverage, and it was good, tight coverage.
All right, so that would be the last play. Again, 26-14 in favor of the red team defense. And it looks like the offense will reset. Start out at the 35-yard line. So Coach Lynn taking care of the defense this morning.
And maybe beyond that, right?
Yes, sir.
He's going to change specialties on us?
There's that possibility, but he has the staff to do so. Good hard run offensively, and I believe that's number 6. Excuse me, number 9. That's Luis Rodriguez again.
Rodriguez again. He's getting a lot of reps here.
Well, ultimately, it's Jeff's team. He can do whatever he wants. He can call offense. He can call defense. He can call special teams. He can do whatever he wants.
Sure. And, that talked earlier about how, it's his philosophy to coach to his strengths and not coach to a particular way of doing things. And, I personally just think that just makes you a more versatile coach. And,
look at that. That's a pretty good ball.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That's that number 25. I think that's Danny Guevara.
Just off the fingertips there. Not like you said, not a bad ball. Maybe needs a tad more air under it. In fact, I'm not sure when he let it go. I wasn't sure which receiver he was going to. There were two in the same area.
Yeah, that's just, talking about his coaching staff. That's just credit to every one of those coaches there. That you mentioned it, Coach. Coach to your strength, but I think he has confidence in all his coaches to do whatever he has to do.
Well, last year he gave up the play calling duties to
Derek Gomez.
To Coach Gomez, and I thought he did a great job with that. He'd done it for years at the lower levels, but I thought he did a good job with it, and I think he'll be better at it this year.
All right, there's that tight trips or diamond, depends what you want to call it, I guess.
Gets touched down there by Axel Salcido. Again, that's kind of the schoolyard rule there for quarterbacks. You don't want them tackled in a spring game, so 2 hands on them and they're down. I think he would have gotten away in a real football situation and been able to either take off at that or get rid of it, but it's all right.
All right, 10:45 here on May 30th. It's been fun so far looking at the upcoming players in the upcoming season. 27-14 your score in favor of the Red Shirts. Fuentes at quarterback in pistol formation. We'll hand that off.
Rodriguez.
Man, I'm telling you what. This is kind of nice too, Coach. Talking to Jeff as well, he says, listen, we issued everything. He, just like a regular game, he issued all the uniforms. He assigned, the numbers. And he's treating this like a regular football game.
Well, and it's got that feel to it. I mean, obviously you've got the different rules, but with the, like you said before, with the officiating crew and the chain gang and the, having the music playing's a little strange, but.
Well, I kind of like it. All right, so Fuentes will be in that pistol formation again. Luke Lynn is the projected starter this year. But as we mentioned, there's different rules here. You have the first and second offense and then the JV versus JV defense. So this is the JV currently.
Nice run from Guzman there. Although we had a flag, maybe he had a good run because of a hold.
Yeah, that kind of looks like that. But, kind of nice to see all these officials out here assisting. It's just really kind of nice to see on a Friday morning.
Yeah. Looking down there at the white sideline and look and see, who's the biggest player down there on the sideline? Well, it's Luke Lynn. I mean, maybe not the widest, but he's a big kid.
He's a huge kid. We're about 6'3" is what we're guessing. And then I'm looking at defense. Of course, you have David Galmond, who is a big individual as well, and Daniel Borrego, also a power lifter. And I tell you what, I've talked with him throughout the latter part of the year, and Q4, quarter 4, and just he is a really strong individual.
They can't say enough about both the powerlifting and the wrestling programs at Roswell High and how much they benefit the football. Oh, my goodness.
Look at that. Guess who that is, Coach? Luis Rodriguez.
Well, and Israel Archuleta is the one that he beat on the play, and, he went down and was clapping for him afterwards, so. But, boy, that was a move.
Oh, gosh. Coach, and I'm not kidding you. I'm getting chills just seeing that. I mean, look at these Coyotes.
Well, expectations will be high. The target will be squarely on their backs, even more than usual and normal. But,
and you're as they say, you're not rebuilding. You're just
reloading.
Reloading, and that's a little dump pass over again to that number 6 again.
Yeah, 6 is Lomeli.
Lomeli, yeah. You know, I mean, you have, check this out, you have even Diana Carrasco out there taking pictures, and she don't have a dog in the fight these days, but she's a she's a true Coyote. You have the athletic training staff out there. It's
old habits die hard, right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, and I thought I saw our other extraordinary photographer of all things.
Yeah, David Rocha.
David Rocha out there as well. So.
All right, here we go again. It's 28-14 in favor of the red shirts. It is excuse me, I got to get used to that. Andrew Fuentes driving back to pass, and we'll try another one in the flats area. Nice catch. And that's number 6 again.
Yeah, Lomeli.
And get a little Michael Jackson action. I know you're a big fan of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's just strange to have it going while they're playing.
Really playing hard, but playing relaxed. And
well, I mean, we've been to practice. We know that these guys go all out. I mean, it doesn't, it's not, there's no practice mentality. It's always game situation for these guys.
All right, the white jerseys about the 10-yard line, little dump pass into the end zone.
That should have been caught.
Who was that to? Number 25, Danny Guevara?
Yeah. And a nice throw in a small window there for Fuentes. He had to throw it low to get it to his receiver. And that's a nice throw that should have been caught.
Sure. All right, the white jerseys about the 13-yard line on the left hash here. Not really sure how many plays they have currently.
Yeah, I haven't been really keeping track, but
next year maybe we can try something different. But this is good anyway. So I would imagine after this, correct me if I'm wrong, this might be halftime after this. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I think we're getting to that time here. Might take a little extended break then.
All right, so that's number 15. That's Francisco Guzman inside the 10-yard line now. And so now, as we mentioned earlier, if the offense gets inside the 10-yard line and the 10 plays have expired, they can finish that drive.
Well, it's 3rd and about 9 or 8 from this point. Well, just about 7, I guess. So
right,
finishing this drive would be a maximum of 2 plays.
And, of course, outside the 10-yard line will either be a field goal or 3 and out. So it looks currently that the Coyotes are on about the 10-yard line, the white jerseys, I should say. There's Fuentes rolling out to the right side, and there is
all day back there.
Going to be
got it in there.
Passed on into the end zone for a touchdown for the white team. And who is that, Coach? Is that number 20, Hunter Berry?
Or 28, Keanu Salas. I'm not sure. I think it's 28.
28. Let's see here.
26?
No, Coach, that's number 28.
All right, so that's Keanu Salas.
Number 28. I'm sorry, I said Hunter Berry. I meant to say Keanu Salas.
Well, they're going out there for the next drive, so we'll have at least one more drive for the half.
Okay, so this will probably end so that we got 10 plays, unless, again, if they're inside the 10-yard line, they can finish the drive. If they're outside the 10-yard line, they have to kick either a field goal or 3 and out in this spring game. While they get set, Coach, let's take a quick break. KSVPTV.com, Coyote Football.
Picture this. You're behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor. You're effortlessly breaking ground, moving piles of rocks just by moving a lever, and enjoying the sun as you clear brush across your pasture. We could keep trying to put you in the moment, but to really understand what this feels like, you just have to get in the seat.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
All right, welcome back to Coyote Football, KSVPTV.com. Luke Lynn over to number 5, Colby Sanchez, on that first drive here.
Yeah, 9-yard completion. We'll probably be seeing that connection quite a bit this year, Lynn to Sanchez.
Yeah, I love the fact that they're utilizing that sideline. I mean, there's just a lot of good things going to be happening this year. Yeah, trips over to the top of your screen now. You got that pistol formation. Luke Lynn, the quarterback. And Coach, who is in the backfield?
Nate Lujan, I believe.
All right, look at that. Luke Lynn tries to find number 13, Jadrian Garcia.
Yeah, and Isaac Gonzalez over there saying, they gave up on me. Don't forget about me. But that's typical of receivers. They're open on every play.
According to them, right?
Going back to the old schoolyard days where those guys run out there and put their hand up immediately because they're always open. I'm wide open.
28-21 is the score in favor of the Red Shirts. Luke Lynn running the offense here for the Roswell Coyotes. We'll throw again to the sideline. That's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, looking for Gonzalez on that one, and he was less open, I guess, that time. A little too much mustard on the throw.
Speaking of mustard, Coach, I'm ready for a bratwurst or a burger or something. It feels like a Saturday. You know what I mean?
It's cookout season. I've been cooking about half and half inside and outside since school's been out this week.
All right.
It's been good for that.
All right, so Luke Lynn gets some direction from Coach Gomez. Goes back to the huddle. So the Roswell Coyotes white team taking over here about the 44-yard line or so. Pistol. Dropping back to pass. In trouble. And there's a flag. And Lynn will be at about the 49-yard line. But, Coach, I think that's going to come back. Might be a holding call, and it looks like 74. That's Clayton Kennard saying, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah, he strongly disagreed. So some things never change. Fall, spring, summer, 7-on-7, whatever.
I kind of love it.
Well, I'll tell you what a perfect day for this. I mean, as you mentioned before, hardly a breeze, barely 70 degrees, bright sunshine, and, music going. You got people brought their shade. It's just been perfect day for a spring football game.
Coach, look at the crowd. I mean, this is nice.
Yeah, I really thought we'd have a smattering of people here, but this is impressive that this many people came out for this.
Of course, thanks to Gene Dow and KSVPTV.com, 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. We did advertise it starting Monday. And that's going to be a little pass over to Jadrian Garcia. Again, that's going to be incomplete. Good defense by the red team. But we did broadcast it, and we did advertise it correctly. And it was on the Roswell High Facebook page as well, free admission.
It was just kind of a last-minute thing. Coach Lynn said, he caught me at graduation and said, you think we could broadcast that? And I said, of course. Gene Dow? Are you kidding me? If there's any way possible, they'll do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And it came together quickly, and hats off to Tanner and the video crew. And, and that's the great thing about KSVP. You see it on the forums, the high school sports forums online all the time. There's always a lot of criticism of state tournament broadcasting and streaming, right. And the common theme is, well, why not make it competitive? Why not let people like Gene Down and KSVP get in there and show what they can do, because they do it better than anybody.
That's going to be a good ball. That one's a little short by Lynn. Pass was intended for Gavin Armstrong, but incomplete.
Yeah, good coverage there once again by let's see, that's Matt Flores, looks like.
Yeah, Coach, you're exactly right. And you and I have been doing this for, I don't know how many years now, quite a bit. But
8 or 10, I guess.
Yeah, 8 or 10. But we do about everything nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just been real good, and not just you and I, but the crew, colleagues of KSVP. I'm talking anywhere from Roy to Tanner to you name it. Dan and Artesia, we all work collaboratively to make this work, and it does.
It does, and they cover so many teams and so many sports, and and of course, we're happy to cover anything they ask us to cover.
And we have. It doesn't matter what school.
Right. And, it's been a good experience for me. I know you agree with that. But, yeah, and I think the trend, people ask me about it all the time. I think the trend is to, have some kind of streaming for everything, everything at the high school level, and, adding more sports and adding more levels even, maybe even start streaming some lower level stuff. So I hope that's the trend.
Well, I think that was the intent at least. And I tell you though, Coach, I mean, you and I we've been in state football championship games. We've done baseball. We've done basketball. We've done, you name it. They want us, we're there.
Yeah, and happy to do it because, that's one of the things that we enjoy doing. It's been a fun ride for however many years this has been.
Quite a bit. And Luke Lynn's still at quarterback for the White team here, working from the 40-yard line. And looks like, I don't know if that was just a bad snap or if that was a snap over to the running back there. But anyway, it will be incomplete. And
end of the drive, and I believe we're at our halftime now.
Let's see what happens there. Well, if that's the case.
Well, maybe not. I mean, they had mass substitutions, but the defense still out there. So
I don't think the defense is coming off at all. I think they're just making quick substitutions, it looks like. And I'm okay with that, too. Is there a conversation with, I don't know if the coach is in there or not, but
well, currently through the scoring system, it's defense 30 and offense 21. But I don't know where we are in the process as far as what series we're on, or if they've just called it halftime and kept going.
Well, I think Jeff's going to really try to keep by a script, I'm thinking, or stay by a script. And see right here, I think this is the JV. It is. There's Fuentes at quarterback, and so there's 10 more plays there. And I think, like I said, he wants to keep it about an hour and a half or so, maybe.
Well, and they don't need a traditional type halftime where they go in the locker room,
talk
things over, and talk strategy. I mean, they don't need to do that. I think the halftime here is just going to be kind of the midway point of the scrimmage.
Yeah, of course, the script here says after the 2-minute segment, we'll see where each team is as far as plays are concerned, and maybe do another 10-play segment after that. So they're probably right on script, and so this might be it here. So not sure, but a nice little dump over. And, again, that's number 9, Luis Rodriguez, and that young man is pretty impressive, Coach.
Yeah, he's been very busy this morning, and I like what I see from him. Of course, he's out there with either the second team or the JV at this point. So,
yeah, it looks as of right now, it looks like Andrew Fuentes might be the projected JV quarterback. And I'm going to tell you what, he throws a good ball too. It's going back, and I don't want to compare too much, but I guess I am. Manny, he threw a good ball as well. Nice tight spiral, good arm, and Andrew's very similar to that as well.
The mechanics are similar.
And I should say his dad as well.
Yeah, right.
So of course I had that opportunity, as you know, to
quarterback family there.
Quarterback family, and that's just great to see. So, all right,
we're doing 2-minute now. You can tell.
Yeah, that's quick offense here. So here we go. There's Fuentes. Wow, that's a nice throw, and that's
another good ball. Oh, and good moves.
Yeah, that's number 25 with the catch, Danny Guevara.
Yeah, and he's had a few nice plays here. And I'll tell you what, if this is a true 2-minute situation, which is what they're trying to simulate here, that was perfect by him. He got every bit of yardage he could get and got out of bounds. So nice play for.
Well, and I don't know, Coach. I mean, a lot of the times you go into that empty set with the 2-minute offense. I'm not saying you can't huddle up. You can, but, it depends on where you're at. And you got that pistol formation again, so we'll see what happens. Unless they're doing a hurry-up offense, anything's possible. Fuentes has plenty of running room, and he is going to be out about the 22-yard line.
And that was a nice move downfield from Andrew Fuentes.
Pretty much like Pro Bowl rules. Don't touch the quarterback, so they're going to take advantage of that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And obviously in a running situation like that, they're still protected. They don't turn into a running back.
30-21, about a minute and 11 left. And I suppose I should say this segment, potentially. There's that toss. And, man, nice little run there again by Luis Rodriguez. You know Luis pretty well?
I don't.
I don't either.
I don't even know what grade he's in.
Well, I don't either. So that's kind of a good thing. That I don't know yet. And, I mean, in a positive way. I mean, if I want to know him on the field.
Go back to last year's JV roster.
Oh, look at that pass by Fuentes over to number 25 again, Danny Guevara. Touchdown for the White.
Yeah, and that's second connection for those two, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir, you're right. And, Coach, let's go ahead and take a quick break. Not sure what's going to happen right now. Okay, well, let's do this. It looks like they're going to have a quick.
Yeah, here's your halftime.
Halftime, so, I don't know, 3 minutes? I think we'll do that. All right, we'll be right back. KSVPTV.com, Coyote Football.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. Fergalicious. In fact, they're downright funky. Fergalicious. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2660. Fergalicious.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Picture this. You're behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor. You're effortlessly breaking ground, moving piles of rocks just by moving a lever, and enjoying the sun as you clear brush across your pasture. We could keep trying to put you in the moment, but to really understand what this feels like, you just have to get in the seat.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. And of course, we're talking about geraniums, along with petunias and lantanas. We raise them in our greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. And while we may disagree on what to call them, there's no doubt they're the prettiest flowers anywhere. So come get yours while the selection is best. But you're going to have to pick them out yourself because I'm colorblind.
Do you know what the hardest part of dealing with the roofer is? Just trying to get them on the phone. Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that you can always trust Trustmark Roofing to answer our phone. Need a free roof inspection? Just call us at 575-755-ROOF and we'll answer with a live person, a real human being. Have a roofing project already going with us and need to discuss it? Just call 575-755-ROOF and we will answer the phone. No answering machine, no voicemails, and no weird robot automated attendant. That's because at Trustmark Roofing, we're all about relationships and treating people right. That's true for customers and vendors and insurance companies and employees. Anyone and everyone who comes in contact with our company. So if you have any roofing needs at all, trust Trustmark to treat you right and to answer the phone. Our number again is 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Did you know almost 75% of the time we're replacing a roof, something totally weird or unexpected or bizarre happens? Jennifer here again from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that we are always prepared for the unexpected. That's why we always have project superintendent on site at your home at all times to handle those weird, bizarre things as they pop up. Things like an unexpected layer of wood shake shingles under your shingles or rotted out decking boards, problems with flashing or ridges or missing supplies that somebody needs to chase down. These are the kinds of problems that normally grind the crews from other roofing companies to a halt and delay the project, but not with our super awesome superintendent there. He's equipped to handle any problem and keep the project moving along smoothly. Just one more way we do things better at Trustmark Roofing. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
So you've made it to Roswell, the UFO capital of the world. You've been to the museum, seen some aliens, maybe even taken a few pictures with our sign. But now it's really time to see Roswell. How? With our cool new app. With the app, you can find shopping, restaurants, places to stay, places to play, tours, museums, and even set your plan. And for the locals who say there's nothing to do in Roswell, our app has a list of events and happenings around town. Pretty cool, right? So head over to the App Store, download, and see Roswell today. It's available for Apple and Android. You need some help?
I'd love some.
Here, do you want me to take it with you?
Yeah, with me.
All right.
Great. Ready?
Cool.
Roswell!
Woo!
Good afternoon, I'm Steven, Uncle Savings View Seal, and welcome to Roswell Hyundai. Listen, today we've got wonderful vehicles out here for sale, and listen, let me tell you something. If you find this golf ball sitting in any Palisade during your test drive this weekend, we're giving away $25 million in cash.
No, I told you we can't do that. Cut, let's do this again.
I don't understand we're making this video then.
I told you we can't do
never
that.
Mind.
Our new business solution is providing an amazing Wi-Fi experience. Frankie's Cafe is booming more than ever. I'm here, undercover, to check it out.
Oh, excuse me. Hi. Would you mind taking a video I can upload to TikTok?
Oh, this happens a lot. Sure, I'm a TikTok guy. You can add different music.
Oh, no, I meant, can you take a video of us?
And that's called a photo.
Hi, my name's Chance with Trustmark Roofing and Windows, and here's what you should expect during your window inspection. Upon my arrival, you'll receive a 15-minute courtesy call letting you know I'm on the way. Once I'm in your home, I'm going to be checking for moisture indication, functionality, and any kind of energy efficiency improvements to the inside and outside of your home. After my inspection, I'll give you my professional opinion, and then you can decide whether you want a no-obligation quote. Myself or the office will contact you to set up a date when I can show you my products and options to best suit your needs. So when choosing windows, choose Trustmark Roofing and Windows. Our goal is to give you a 5-star service and get you what you deserve, and that's the best.
We put people first.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com. When managing a chronic illness, access to the right treatments makes all the difference. Artesia General Hospital's Infusion Center provides IV therapy and biologic treatments, so you don't have to travel far for care. Expert infusion therapy right here in Artesia. Call 575-736-8256 today to learn more. Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
All right, welcome back to KSVPTV.com. Coyote football, white-red spring game, and first play of this half here. And looks like there's a mix-up there, but let me read this real quick. It says, after the 2-minute segment, we'll see if each team is in play and maybe do another 10 plays after this. But it says after half, we'll do 2-minute segments with each team. After that, they'll find out if there's time that permits and see how everybody's doing and kind of go from there.
Well, got to mention Axel Salcido getting to the quarterback again. That's at least twice we've said that about him. And look at the size of Miguel Borrego, number 79. I don't know how big he is, but I know he is big.
Oh, he's a power lifter, and he has done a good job with that. And tell you what, we're going to see a lot of exciting things with him this coming year. There's a pass from Fuentes over to number 6 again. And we said that was Diego Sanchez. Is that correct?
No, Lomelli.
Lomelli.
Yeah, that's
okay.
6 is Lomelli.
So it kind of looks like I don't know if Coach Lynn's kind of reversing it, starting out with the JV first, or excuse me, I guess it's the JV second team and then the first team, looks like. So we have the score of 30-28 in favor of the red shirts, which represents the defense. White team is about the 42-yard line here. Fuentes in pistol formation, toss over to the right side.
There's that that name again.
Rodriguez.
Yeah. He's had himself a morning.
Yeah, sure has. It's been fun. Trying to see who number 7 is here. That's Luis Chavez trotting onto the field. Okay, so yeah, just looking at the defense here, Coach, and trying to find Borrego. Currently on the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those defensive tackle positions.
And look at Rodriguez again. He
is shifty.
First down.
My goodness.
Changane will get that moving on. Well, Coach, you and I looked at Facebook, and I didn't realize about over 700 views as of right now, and some likes. It is a little different by all means, but appreciate everybody listening and tuning in to KSVPTV.com. Supporting Roswell Coyote football. As we mentioned at the conclusion of this game here, Coach, the Roswell High football boosters, I should say, will be providing, I think it was hot dogs and hamburgers to the fan, or excuse, not to the fans, but to the players.
Careful now.
To the players and coaches.
You'll fill up this stadium if you do that.
Both sides. Little toss over.
Oh, nice tackle.
That's Francisco Guzman. And who was that defensively?
Matt Zapata.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Well, that's how we can definitely get fans up here, Coach. I want to fill up this stadium. This is Roswell football,
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been very impressed with young Andrew Fuentes. He's looks like the real deal at quarterback. Again, he doesn't have the prototypical quarterback size, and again, he's young. Maybe he will get closer to that. Certainly, you think prototypical size, you just say, well, Luke Lynn, 6'3", 190, 200 pounds. But Fuentes has been very good today.
Yeah, only a sophomore rolling out to the right side. Will throw.
Oh, and just not quite enough air under it.
Who was that? Again, that's number 25, Danny Guevara. That's his favorite target right now.
Well, I think they look like they've played together before, so I'm wondering if he wasn't one of his favorite targets last year on the JV.
Might have been.
Or the freshman team. Was he the freshman team quarterback last year?
He was,
yeah.
I believe. This throws a good ball and just throws it up in the air. You can smell those burgers going on there, Coach.
Yeah, they're getting ready.
Yeah, throws to the pylon there. All right, so 30-28 is the score in favor of the red team. And that's going to be a handoff and finally brought down about the 30-yard line again.
Yep, Guzman with another carry. He's looked pretty good. Looked more like a between the tackles type of back, more so than Rodriguez. Rodriguez really showed off the speed on his last carry.
Yeah.
And, of course, he's got a couple of touchdowns.
Well, Coach, let me ask you your opinion. I know I've said my opinion and Jeff has said his opinion, but I need your opinion on this. What do you feel about the 2-week spring game or the opportunity to work out? You think there's some benefits? Or?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm loving it. I mean, it's just too long, because they're done. They're done before, in the first semester. And then if you don't go until July, if you can get a little bit of a mini camp, however you want to look at it.
I like that, yes. Yeah.
A little 2-week action here before they go off to their various other sports or other activities or just to take a break. No, I love it. And, they look pretty sharp on both sides of the ball here this morning.
You are the historian of Roswell High football and KSVPTV.com. I want to know. I want you to find out eventually, Coach, for next year at least, or maybe when we start week 1, who in the state of New Mexico is actually participating in this?
Oh yeah, that might be hard to.
Or a guesstimation of, just kind of not necessarily true statistics, but
yeah, my guess is going to be, and it's speculation, but I think the elite programs are taking advantage of it because the elite programs take advantage of everything.
Right.
They take advantage of every opportunity they're given within the rules. And, I'll be shocked. I mean, I know Artesia is. I would guess that Lovington is. Probably, Los Lunas and then the other, the 6A powerhouses as well.
Yeah, you would think so. Here comes Fuentes dropping back, rolling out to the right side. Look at him. He just
pick.
I was going to say cool, calm, and collective, and then throws a pick off. And look at that. Uh-oh.
Oh, look out, Coach. Coach Gomez.
Is that Coach Gomez?
Yeah.
Kind of looked like Avalos there for a minute. Coach Gomez, but talk to me about that pickoff, Coach. Who was it?
Caden Robinson, just staying with his man, and I tell you what, that was a ball that he just jumped on, and pretty good work after the catch as well, other than taking your offensive coordinator out. That's a good job.
Well, you know what that means, Coach. With the pickoff, they get some points with that, and we'll go back to the 35-yard line where the white team will reset.
3 points for the turnover, and could have added another 7 had he gone the distance, but he gets 3 more points for the defense, and defense has 33, offense has 28.
I tell you what, Coach, I'm really enjoying this. And I think the fans are too.
Well, they sure got excited on that. I mean, you heard that typical
roar.
Yeah, a little roar from the crowd when you have something like that happen in a real game.
All right, here comes. I think that's Luke Lynn. How can you miss him? He's only 6'3".
Looking for Isaac Gonzalez there, and good coverage by the opposite number 4. Actually, it was Stephen Lara on number 4 was on defense. It was looking for Gavin Armstrong. And so looks like Coach Gomez is okay.
Oh, he's fine. He's actually laughing about it. But Luke Lynn will have thrown that incomplete pass there. So it's going to be the second down opportunity. Kyle's working from about the 35-yard line, middle part of that field. Luke Lynn reads and hands it off. And Coach, defensively, who was that again?
Well, looking for the number 30. So that's Eli Salazar. Yeah, just another opportunity to kind of make a name for yourself, to show the coaching staff what you can do in a game situation. Getting back to the benefits of this little 2-week spring mini camp. Any opportunity to show your coaches something is a good one.
All right, about 831 views now here in this white-red spring game. 33-28 is the score. Luke Lynn is the quarterback here for the white team. Dropping back to pass, and he is going to go deep and has a man open and caught. So nice pass and a nice reception by Gavin Armstrong.
Oh, and he's hurt.
All right, so looks like there is maybe a injury. I hope that young man is okay. I think he's going to be all right.
Well, he's up, so that's
well. The good thing about this, Coach, it's both sides, west and the east side, is all Coyote, so he can trot over there, and the training staff can make their way on that side as well. So nice pass and nice catch. And so now the white team working from about the 34-yard line. Again, thank you to our listeners and watchers. Always a pleasure to do Roswell Coyote football on KSVPTV.com. Look at Luke Lynn. We'll just throw out away, and kind of dangerous there, but it will be incomplete.
Yeah, you need to throw that one away a little more away than that. But we have seen some interesting snaps in the shotgun formation. So, which you would expect in a situation like this, but
right.
Again, most of that offensive line is returning, but I don't think the center is, and I believe the center for this first team has been Angel Marujo, number 55. But
yeah, I'm glad you said that. I'm trying to find out who that is, Coach. I'm not real sure, but
Hell, I don't think it is now because I think I see 55 on the side.
Taking the place of Avitia, of course, and now with the ball is going to be Logan Hoover.
Real nice run.
You know, quick shout out to, and you mentioned it earlier, but another one to our producer, Tanner Todd, really coming out here on a Friday and didn't have to do this and decided to go ahead and help you and I out and KSVP out and Roswell football. So big shout out to Tanner Todd.
Well, yeah, organizing the 3-camera crew and the whole deal. I mean, this is a normal football production here, and yeah, it's for just a spring scrimmage it's pretty good.
All right, here comes the white team as they're working from the 25-yard line here. And they're going to try to get that first down, and why would you not? Luke Lynn, about 6'3", 200-plus pounds.
I tell you what, if Coach Lynn or Coach Gomez wants to put in some kind of version of the tush push, I tell you what, having Luke Lynn back there to push that football, you would think could be effective.
For sure. Absolutely. I'm just impressed with the crowd as well. They just keep on coming in here to support Roswell football here in this white-red game here. I don't know if you can call it a spring game or you want to call it a summer game. I don't know what you call it, but it's a lot of fun, and there's the whistles.
Yeah, and Luke says, hey, he didn't touch me 2 hands. I'm still alive on that play, but they blew it dead.
Yeah, so
those quarterbacks don't really want to be protected. You know, they want to play.
Well, I tell you what, the maintenance crew here, just graduation was last week, and the maintenance crew really did a good job of cleaning this place up. I mean, Roswell High School itself had 305 graduates, and both the west and the east side were full, completely full, and standing room.
That was something, wasn't it?
Yes, and it was about 101, 102 degrees, and wearing that the gown, not only as a faculty and staff, but you know, most importantly, those graduates. It was a hot one.
It was, but boy, it looked like a Roswell Artesia football game with all the people that were here. And and that graduating class of over 300. That's, you know, it's only been 7 years ago. We were only graduating about 225.
Yeah, pretty impressive. And you know, just the year before that was 250. So you know, there's an improvement there, and you know, we might throw that shout out to Roswell Independent School District, of course, allowing us to use the Wool Bowl here for this contest, and it's kind of a big deal. 33-28 is the score here in favor of the red team. Luke Lynn, that hard cadence, as you may say, and getting ready here as he is in pistol formation. Dropping back to pass, and will deliver. And there's some hesitation there by Luis Ramirez. You mentioned right there, Coach, that's a good ball. I think that's a good ball. And of course, I wasn't looking at Ramirez either, but he has to get over there and get around that defense.
Yeah, he's got to go hard through that route in order for that route to be successful. And you know, if Luke tries to adjust to his receiver there too much, you run the risk of throwing a pick. So I agree. That's incomplete, but it's a good ball.
All right, white team, again, working from about the 25-yard line. See if Luke Lynn reading his defense now. And this is you said this better than anybody, Coach. Luke Lynn is, the projected quarterback for Roswell High School, but you have to understand.
Oh, boy. That's a bad idea.
Well, and I was just going to say something there, and every time I was going to say something, oh, there's a flag. That's going to be see if they can return it. If not, the ball will go back to the 35-yard line. But with Luke Lynn, he reads the defense real well, and all the Lynn's come from a coaching family. You have OG, you have Jeff Lynn, you have Josh Lynn, you have all these coaches that have been very successful, and you said it better than anybody. Luke Lynn will probably end up being a teacher and a coach.
Yeah, no, he's we probably just need to call him Coach Lynn this year, although that would be confusing. But, yeah, I really do see that in his future, certainly an option for him in the future. He could easily continue that tradition and be the third generation coach there in the Lynn family, because he just has that mindset, and he's had it since he was little. I mean, seeing things that people his age that don't have any business seeing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and he's the last. He's the last one.
Yeah, he's.
Of Jeff's kids, at least.
I don't think Lincoln's going to play football, but you never know.
Well, yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be a bit surprised. She's only about 4 years old or so, but she might have that ability to play.
Yeah, but it's funny. You brag on the decision making, and he makes a terrible decision to throw that football off balance. It throws a pick.
Well, and that's the way it usually works.
Yeah, the instant curse. Oh boy,
the broadcaster's curse. And it looks like the defense is going to win that one as well.
Well, they're going to get the turnover on that, and that's going to, that's the third one, and that's going to make it hard for the offense to win this scrimmage. Do we have a third quarterback out there is my question.
Well, I don't know, Coach, but I can tell you that the defense has 39 points and the offense with 28. Trying to make something here. I'm trying to read this script here because they did say after the 2-minute segment, we'll see each team if they play another additional 10 plays. I'm not sure yet because I haven't really seen a 2-minute.
Well, we thought we saw one right before halftime, but.
Well, when they're saying a 2-minute segment, I'm thinking 2-minute, hurry up offense is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, maybe we're referring to something else. So that was Isaac Gonzalez in the Wildcat. They're back to Luke Lynn in the pistol there, and another bad snap.
They're having some problems at the center position currently. Now, I don't know if Coach Gomez or whoever's running that potential offense right now.
Well, I'll tell you who's running the offensive line.
Oh, gee.
And that's David Lynn.
All right, so.
And there's a timeout called. Interesting.
Well, let's take a quick one. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds. KSVPTV.com, Roswell Coyote Football.
Central Valley Electric is continually learning and advancing technology that improves electric service, reliability, and safety, and in turn enhancing the quality of life for members that we serve in our local communities. CVE offers an account management program called Smart Hub that allows members to track their usage, set up convenient pay methods, and the ability to manage their energy use with smart technologies. A secure system such as Smart Hub is an easy tool to use. To sign up, visit cvecoop.org and click Smart Hub to get started.
All right, welcome back to KSVPTV.com. Roswell football, we are here, the red-white. I guess you could say a spring game or summer game, and it's been a lot of fun. Currently, the red team, who represents the defense with 39 points, and the guest with 28, wearing the white shirt with the red trousers, and the defense wearing the red shirt and the black trousers. So, thank you for tuning in at KSVPTV.com. Still some time if you want to come out and take a look at this spring-summer game. Luke Lynn still at quarterback. We'll be in that pistol formation. And, Coach, it might be Nate Lujan. It is Nate Lujan. At the running back position.
That's oh, good throw.
Nate Lujan. On his feet, still on his feet, good move. And we'll get positive yardage, and good job by Luke Lynn as he escapes traffic. And good job by Nathaniel Lujan for positive yardage.
That's the thing about the quarterback position. It's kind of hard to be humble at the quarterback position sometimes, and
sure.
It can make you think you can do anything, that you're kind of bulletproof, that you're kind of can pull off any throw in any situation, and that's one of the toughest things to do as a quarterback at any level, really, is just the decision making.
Absolutely. All right, here comes Luke Lynn again, as he is the projected quarterback for this upcoming season, working from the 40-yard line. Got that tight offense there. We'll hand that off again. That one this time is number 5. That's Colby Sanchez.
Yeah, a little reverse to the wide out there. Successful play.
Yeah, just trying to see. We got some, this time now, Coach, about 973 views here and about 6 shares. So appreciate everybody listening and watching. Let's see if we can surpass at least the 1,000 mark. That'll be great. Okay, so right now, Coach, I'm kind of curious if Jeff is going to try to, I know we do have a script here, but if he's going to try some field goal opportunities here or not.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that at all, have we?
No, we haven't, but that's going to be a flag possibly, as the defense will jump off sides. And the defense, they're saying they're going to win a point on that, but I don't think so. I think that, who was that for the defense? Number 78, Daniel Borrego. I tell you what, boy, he's big and strong. And who was number 77? Look at that one. That's Ethan Lopez.
Well, yeah, it appeared that there was a jump. But Coach Lynn signaling first down.
He is saying first down, here we go. So Jeff is actually talking, Coach Lynn is actually talking to the defense saying, hey, here we go, what's going on? So Jeff is actually calling it and saying it's going to be a first down for the white team. 39-28 is the score. Got about a 2-minute segment here. All right, Luke Lynn still at quarterback. Going to go back to the flat area, and will be another first down, and that's nicely done by Colby Sanchez.
Yeah, great job staying in bounds, tiptoeing the sideline there after he made the catch. He spun and was very near the boundary, but did a good job getting the extra yardage.
Yeah, Coach, I'm real surprised. I bet you're already studying, since you're that historian here for KSVP. I bet you're getting all the stats ready for each game right now, aren't you?
Well, I'm already thinking about it, actually.
Yeah, I know you are, right?
Looking at that season coming up, because it'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, you really, really will be. And there's Luke Lynn again to that flat area. And again, Colby Sanchez, might be seeing a lot of him, but there's going to be a few others as well that's going to be a big factor in this Roswell Coyote offense. I want to say a high-powered jet, but, has potential to be.
Sure. Well, when you get, it's a nice problem to have an experienced quarterback, but hasn't been the starter, Luke's played a lot of quarterback and knows the position and has played it well, but this is going to be his first year as starter at the varsity level.
As a senior.
Yeah, as a senior.
And he's going to take a shot to the end zone and overthrown, pass intended for Isaac Gonzalez.
Boy, when he let it go, I thought it was going to be a touchdown, but just sailed it.
Yeah, took a shot and a little bit more air on that, but he's going to be good.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt.
Okay, so the white team working from the 20-yard line. Not sure exactly how many plays are left here in this drive. I'll tell you what, Coyote Nation's excited for this upcoming year as the fans are just coming in. All right, there's a snap and hand it off over to Logan Hoover. I kind of want to see a little bit of I don't want to see that. I shouldn't say that, but I'm kind of used to some jawing, as you know.
Well, there's still some. I mean, it's still football, but they are teammates, but you know how it is. I mean, you get fights in practice. You get, they still want to win. They still want to, like I said earlier.
Yes.
They still want to stand out to the coaching staff.
Very competitive. Don't get me wrong. All right, Luke Lynn still working from the 20-yard line. There is the snap and just a quarterback lead. Well, you can't get anything there because you can't tackle the quarterback. So
yeah, I kind of wonder about calling that play in this situation. I mean, you want to run it, but they can't hit your quarterback. And
He's trying to get that first down. That's what
Yeah.
I'm seeing there.
Well, yeah, but with the protect the quarterback rules, that's
Yep, I get it. All right, so the chain gain will move on here. And Luke now goes back to the huddle there. He's been waiting for this opportunity. I mean, he's played behind a lot of great quarterbacks with Manny Fuentes and Jacob Palomino now. Yeah,
but that was a situation with Jacob last year. I mean, just 1 year as the starting quarterback, and it's your senior year.
Oh, look at that
Wow.
throw into traffic and nicely done. Is that who's that?
Diego Sanchez.
Diego Sanchez, great catch. So now the white team is inside, I believe, the 5-yard line.
Yeah, pretty ball there from Luke, huh?
So you can finish the drive. Yeah, if the offense gets inside the 10-yard line and the 10-yard line expires within that, they still can finish that drive. So, okay. All right, so your guesses now, just seeing this white-red game here. What's your thoughts here, Coach?
Well, I know what my thoughts would be last year. This would be a big dog situation, but I'm just curious to see if they're going to have that. They're probably not going to show it now, but
Fade to Colby Sanchez is what I'm guessing. There it is. Up the middle this time, and you got that over there, that roll around, and the fake might have been open, but it would have been a great opportunity. But, of course, this is just very, very early.
Sure.
Knowing Jeff and knowing his staff, I mean, they already want to be in mid-season condition, you know what I mean? So, at least that's the way I feel. I mean, I love doing this. You and I have been, like I said, we've done this 8-10 years, whatever it is, but I'm ready to be in mid-season broadcasting, you know what I mean?
Yep. Already excited for week 1.
Absolutely. All right, here comes Luke Lynn inside the 5, and there's that toss. And let's see if number 22, Nate Lujan, will get in, and the defense does its job, and Lujan.
Yeah, he was a little too fast for his pull blocker there and had to kind of wait to get in behind him. And I don't know if it would have been better to just continue with the momentum and take it outside or wait for that blocker. He got close.
Well, it's third down over here on the east side here. Let's see if there'll be some motion here. And no, Luke Lynn's going to call his own number, and they touching beforehand?
So hard to call because, you have to call two-hand touch for that player.
And he goes head first. And he did not get in, so I'm talking
inches.
In
fact, it looks like it's on the goal line.
Fourth down. Let's see if you have a man in motion. He's going to call his own number again, and this time he is in. So Luke Lynn in for the white, and that will be a touchdown for the Coyotes.
And it puts them, is that 34 or 39?
That's 39-35 in favor of the red team.
So defense still winning.
Yeah, I don't want to get too excited yet, Coach, as, we will. Well, Coach, let's take a quick break. We'll be back here, let's try about a minute. KSVPTV.com, Coyote Football. We'll be right back.
So you've made it to Roswell, the UFO capital of the world. You've been to the museum, seen some aliens, maybe even taken a few pictures with our sign. But now it's really time to see Roswell. How? With our cool new app. With the app, you can find shopping, restaurants, places to stay, places to play, tours, museums, and even set your plan. And for the locals who say there's nothing to do in Roswell, our app has a list of events and happenings around town. Pretty cool, right? So head over to the App Store, download, and see Roswell today. It's available for Apple and Android. You need some help?
I'd love some.
Here, do you want me to take it with you?
Yeah, with me.
All right.
Great. Ready?
Cool.
Roswell!
Woo!
Welcome back to KSVPTV.com, Coyote Football, as we are here at the red-white spring-summer game. And, Coach, I tell you what, it looks like that is going to do it for this morning. Tell you what, it's been a lot of fun, but in your opinion, what have you seen today?
Well, I saw a lot of things to look forward to in the fall. I mean, they look real sharp for being away from the game and being, a lot of them their first experience at the varsity level. I was impressed from what I saw on the football field this morning and just excited and anticipating what's to come in the fall.
No, I totally agree with you, Coach. I thought there's a lot of good things. You saw 3 quarterbacks here for the Roswell Coyotes. You have the projected quarterback with, Luke Lind. And, of course, you had you saw I want to say Manny Fuentes, but I meant to say Andrew Fuentes. And then,
I think that's all we
that
saw.
That was it, just the 2 quarterbacks.
We saw some Wildcat, but just those
Wildcat,
2.
I guess so. Okay, and defensively, I tell you what, as you mentioned earlier, probably end up seeing Nick Anaya. Joaquin Bolaños, once he's healthy, will be probably involved in that, along with David Galmond, who was, a big part of that state championship game last year. Ethan Lopez, Daniel Borrego, and, of course, Cannon Ramage. But a lot of good things, as you mentioned, Coach, and, can't wait for the fall. I think, as we mentioned earlier, Coach Lynn is going to go ahead and give the Roswell Coyotes the rest of the month off, the month of June, and then start back off in July. So for the listeners and watchers, you can go to the Roswell High School football Facebook page or the Roswell High School Coyote page, and you can get some information on all athletics for all sports to determine some of your summer programs as well. Talk about weightlifting. I'm talking about every sport. A special shout out to Thalia Pandoja, who is actually in charge of our Facebook and does a great job with that. So special thanks to her if she's listening. And just go on there. A lot of good things happening, or has happened, and are going to continue to happen at Roswell High School. But we're going to close this out, Coach, for today. What do you think?
Well, I like spring football. This was fun.
All right, guys.
It's going to be the real thing before you know it.
All right, guys. We're going to close this out from the Wool Bowl. Art Sandoval, Kelly McDonald. And it's always a great day to be a Coyote. Have a good weekend. Be safe.